Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are talking about Quant Network's milestones in 2024. And throughout the year, great progress has been made with central bank digital currencies, one of Quant's core use cases. And CBDCs are closer than ever to mainstream adoption and shaping up to be one of the most dominant narratives for the next cycle, like what artificial intelligence is today. And Quant is a project that has checked all of the boxes that we value in this space, like real utility, strong fundamentals, scarce tokenomics, but it is still not reflected in the price that we see today. This is something we are also going to get into later on in the video. So if you're here for more QNT content, be sure to leave a like down below. And with that said, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so before we go into the QNT recap of 2024, I want to quickly promote to you the Decent Hardware Cold Wallet. I always recommend this wallet on the channel. A big reason why 3,000 plus coins are supported, including QNT. A lot of the top wallets out there take ages to list cryptocurrencies. You want to keep your crypto safe, especially if you're buying large amounts. Decent is a perfect alternative wallet to have. Again, I recommend to new people, it's simple to use, biometric authentication, OLED display and 4 buttons, and it's very affordable also. And so if you're from the UK, US, EU or Japan, free shipping will be available to you once you purchase. It's a win-win situation. I get commission when you buy and you get a discounted wallet. Go and check links below in the description. Moving on to Quant 2024 recap. Going through the events I think are relevant and important. Quant Network's work on the digital pound back in February. 2 points to note here: that it was issued on their technology, right? They issued the digital pound and created the infrastructure around the API. And soon, the digital pound will be used for every single payment in the UK unless it's cash. So we're not talking about millions, not billions, but trillions. Here we have Treasury Minister Andrew Griffith explain the digital pound even better.
So when it comes to the digital pound, our goal will be to ensure that public trust in money remains high and forms of money and payments meet the evolving need of individuals and businesses. We envisage a digital pound acting in a similar way to a physical pound. It will be a safe, trusted form of money. It will be accepted for everyday transactions by businesses and households alike, used in-store, online, and to make payments between family and friends. It would exist alongside and be easily exchangeable with cash and bank deposit. UK authorities remain committed to protecting access to cash, and a digital pound doesn't replace, it just complements cash. It will promote competition and choice and boost the resilience of payments in the UK.
And so Quant Network are providing functionality and interoperability to CBDCs, just like they did in Project Rosalind alongside the Bank of International Settlements, the Bank of England, and many more. And Gilbert Verdian, the CEO of Quant Network, states they expect a minimum viable product of a CBDC within the next year or two, and this was stated near the beginning of 2024. Things are coming very, very soon. Next point we have is Quant and R3 selected as tech providers for the regulated liability network. And Quant again delivered the API layer via the Overledger platform. They were picked for this due to their connectivity and smart contracts with the UK retail CBDC experiment, and so they enabled programmability and interoperability. So they created a venue for settlement across all forms of money and allowed global banks, institutions to test retail and wholesale payments. And now on to the third milestone we have back in June, EBA Day 2024. Gilbert Verdian, CEO, on stage alongside the Sutse Bank, Citi, HSBC, Next Group. Citi been working with them with the Latin American dollar blockchain back in since 2021. HSBC, Gilbert worked for them. The connections are endless. And Next Group, also known as SIA, partnered with Quant for DLT interoperability. Now, the topic of discussion was the challenges and benefits of CBDCs. Here we have a little clip to play.
But to integrate this into banks, having been worked in banking previously, as David said, it is very difficult, but the time is running out. The CBDCs will come. They will be forced to be integrated into your environments. So you're better off starting today rather than waiting for a mandate for you to do it.
And so commercial banks could be using the overledger before CBDC is already here because it's already integrated into their payment systems. As Gilbert said, why not do it now? Also, when we look at cbdctracker.org, this has changed a lot more orange pilot stages, a lot more purple research stages, and even some launched down at the bottom over there. This is changing rapidly, as we said before, retail then wholesale. Moving on to the regulated liability network, the final phase connected back to April. Look at all of the participants mentioned: Barclays, HSBC, Lloyds Bank, and Visa. And the head of SWIFT was one of the main contributors to the regulated liability network. So Quant provided the interoperability through their banking grade API. This is probably the biggest, most successful experiment innovation of CBDCs that we have seen to date. In the UK, Quant could connect all of the UK's payment infrastructure. And when we're talking about faster payments in the UK, I'm talking about CHAPS, direct debit, SWIFT, faster payments. This is insane. This is paving the way for tokenized payments in the UK. Moving on, Lena Russ joins in September to the team as Chief Commercial Officer. And she has more than 20 years experience in consulting financial services and SaaS, and previously worked at TradeTech. Yes, a partnership with XDC. Also, in October, David Yates joined the board, the former CEO of Vocalink. Executive is moving over to Quant Network, where Martin Hargreaves and Gilbert Verdian previously worked, speaks volumes. So in 2021, we've seen Quant join the Digital Pound Foundation. 2023, Project Rosalind uses the Overledger, and in 2024, using their technology in the regulated liability network for the UK. What will we see in 2025? And what will we see in the price of QNT in 2025? Because despite all of these positive milestones, it is not affecting the price one bit. I first want to speak about this by comparing to other projects that I've invested in that have gone down a lot, because it's just touching bear market lows for QNT, whereas other coins I've invested in pretty much have little to no sign of recovery. Lost a lot of money on ANDR, lost a lot of money on WTK, and QNT is not alone in this downturn, especially coins from previous cycles. What has been chop for Bitcoin since March 2024 has been a slow, painful bleed for most altcoins. Take off in the following year of the actual halving itself. Bitcoin dominance is not going down anytime soon, so I think QNT still has a lot of time to increase in value. But your options are sell all of your holdings because you don't think the investment is working for you, or just diversify into other first movers that have been performing well. Will the rotation happen to utility-based coins, or will the best performers keep performing the way they have been since the start of the year? That's what we're here to find out. I personally still hold a lot of this coin. I believe in this coin. It ticks all the boxes in terms of tokenomics, fundamentals, utility. I just believe in the coin itself, and I added it again to the public portfolio. Go and check that video out if you have not seen that in the top right. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Things looking positive for QNT in terms of CBDCs, what to look forward to in a long-term investment, which is this asset in my opinion. And be sure to let me know down below if you're still holding on to QNT. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.